Howdy, 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 back at it again. Today's video is going to be a bit of viewer match analysis. If you like this type of content, if you want to see more of it, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow it, and I'd really appreciate the support. Without further ado, let's get into the video. This request came from one of the people over in my members-only Discord. Not a member anymore, still in the Discord. I don't remove people, just so you know. They asked me, can I look at this? Their playstyle made them annoyed, and how do they deal with the low fireball and drive rush? So, just kind of taking a peek, how do we defend against Juri? The first thing I would say is kind of round start drive rush is when you should really be looking for it, and if you are, medium punch is what you want to push. In the replay, they push crouch jab. I find that hard because, one, it's not as active. It only has 2 active frames versus 4, right? I say as I whiff. And also it's not disjointed, right? So even though it's a little faster, it's not disjointed and it's harder to time, I think. So there's just that. I think pushing stand medium punch is a good option. Okay, wake up button there is fine. I love that. Good conversion. Not sure about the charge sweep. Kind of take it or leave it. I prefer stuff that's going to give you mix afterwards, but that is what it is. I understand the idea is like you're trying to punish walk back. But just imagine instead you did, like, you know, towards heavy kick, drive rush cancel, or just towards heavy kick into like Gladius, set up a spacing trap, whatever, right? Here there's not a whole lot we do. Now you know, punish a jab, I guess. Okay, so this is something I want you to pay attention to. Not matchup specific, but just paying attention here. You put Juri in the corner, you do drive rush Oki, they DP. Okay, Juri DPs here. I'm not sure why you spent this OD Gladius. Like, you see her throw out a fireball. We don't have lower body armor here. That hits on the floor, right? Okay. Take the throw. I like that. Let's get back to neutral. You do get a kill here. You could have landed a charged heavy punch, just so you're aware. But you get the kill here anyway, so I'm not going to be too picky. That's a good conversion. Right, that's a good conversion. So, you know, we get a little more aggressive here. Okay, so here's something I want to point out. You see that sequence? Stand medium, crouch medium, medium store, right? And you're crouch blocking the whole time. If you're stand blocking this whole time, I'm just holding back, that's going to whip. And you're going to go whip punish. So that's something to be aware of. Is if you're stand blocking there, depending on how much attention you're paying, you can get some pretty dang big conversions off of that, because that store is just going to whiff. But if you crouch block, it creates a spacing trap, right, which you actually do a really good job responding to. Now see, this is what they do to kind of discourage that. They'll do like crouch medium kick here, but that's got a gap in it, so like you can convert out of it. So like that's kind of the mind game they play. So you sort of have to see what they want to do on block. Again, same idea. If you're just holding back here, probably don't spend the meter there, but point taken, right? You can make that whiff, and you could have made it whiff again. Good backdash, good back throw. Okay, so last time you put Juri in the corner, drive rush into Oki, she did DP. Gonna do it again. Also, I probably wouldn't have drive rushed off this just in like a macro sense. I probably would have just done dash up here into towards heavy kick if you know, because like if that hits, she's really close to burnout. So it's food for thought. Again, we throw out ODE Gladius here, and I'm not quite sure what we're looking for. That's tough. Against Juri dive kick, you kind of have to like hold the Gladius, and then it's really tough. You have to like do anti-air Gladius and then like hold it when you see she's doing the dive kick. It's confusing, and that's just a bad wake up level 1. But is what it is. You know? I mean, is what it is. I guess what I'll say, you're wondering about the fireball. One thing you can do that goes over the fireball is phalanx. And I think there's a situation in this round where that comes up. Yeah. So like right here, instead of pushing towards medium punch, right? Like you walk forward here. That's the spot where I would just throw to phalanx. Because if she throws the fireball, right? If she throws this fireball, it's going to hit her. Or it's going to put you in and just get do some drive gauge damage to her. So, like, I think you kind of have to be throwing out light phalanx a little bit in this matchup. Because it's going to go over the fireballs. And it's going to smoke them, you know? Okay. I like the throw tech. Fireball drive rush. Okay, you're plus here. Right? No. Yeah, you're plus here. So, like, don't let her do drive rush into crouch medium kick. Like, you're plus here. Don't take that like it's her offense. Okay? Generally, the rule is if they have crouch medium kick into drive rush, they do not have drive rush crouch medium kick that's going to be advantageous on block. Right? Okay, I like this. That's okay. I'm not sure that I would have spent... okay, I think chill with the drive gauge here, right? Because, like, now, here, after she blocks this, you have more drive. So, like, you're losing in health and in super meter, but you're winning in drive, right? So, like, your win condition right now is, like, block a DP, do a gigantic punish, maybe. Now, you're down in drive and health and super. And Juri kind of beats us in neutral. So, like, now you kind of just have to pray she's going to make a mistake. And that's a tough place to be in. Okay, great. Now don't drive rush in. Okay, if you want to take up space, dash. Because, again, you're winning the drive gauge battle. And at this point, I think if you block the DP or a super, you would kill her. Right? Like, you could, in the corner, like, you could build level 3 and you could kill. Okay. We're okay. This is one of those spots where if you were kind of mixing in that, right? Like it trades, but that's a good trade for us, I think. Right? But if you're just kind of mixing in the phalanx periodically, which maybe doesn't feel good about comfortable throwing that, you get kind of an advantageous trade. Instead, it buys her all this space, and now she gets drive gauge back, and now you're losing the drive gauge battle again. Okay. Take advantage of it. We're fine. And then we just try tap parry and it doesn't work, right? So you're kind of putting yourself in a rough spot in neutral because you're not utilizing phalanx, which is one of the tools that can discourage her from just throwing out that low fireball, right? Because if you hop it, you get a punish counter, and you get Oki, and you get offense. It is possible for her to DP it, but she has to be paying attention. So when you can force her to be like, oh, shoot, I need to think about using DP to anti-air phalanx, then she's not thinking about controlling the ground. She's not throwing out fireballs, and she's not throwing out pokes as much because she wants to make sure she can DP her Superman. So I think utilizing that more in this matchup is good. I also think utilizing stand heavy kick and neutral is pretty good, but mainly I think you're just letting yourself be victimized by strings that aren't real. Let's look at the next game. Okay, so game number 2, you start off aggressive, and you get a driver stand medium kick, and then you convert into an awful combo, right? So, like, obviously we know back heavy punch, and I dropped it because I suck. But back heavy punch, and then probably into this, or a driver's extension, or whatever, right, is what we should be going for. Would get us, like, almost 4K, and instead you don't even do 3K, and you don't get Oki. Okay. I like it so far. Again, I said this to somebody else the other day, but like, you have to just think about what people are doing and what they're looking for. And they're looking for Marisa's, like, we as a collective, Marisa players, we love to charge Gladius in this situation. So people love to jump. So if we just stop charging Gladius, and we will get so much mileage or so much benefit out of anti-airing here and just waiting to be ready for it. Okay, we're fine. That's rough. Good anti-air. That sucks. I like the super, especially if it was a reaction. That's sick. Okay. I feel like, and yes, I've seen this already, but it was my thought when I saw this the first time. They're going to DP here. It feels kind of obvious, but I'm not sure why it feels obvious to me. And I know that's not helpful, but it's just one of those things where you just hit him with a wake-up super, right? And I might have thought they were going to DP here, but it's like, okay, at this point, this is a great spot to back off. And I know that sounds insane because they're like, I have him in the corner, but this is actually a great spot to just kind of do a delayed button, you know, to do something like this, and then to be like, okay, and now I'm going to hold back, and I'll do like a delayed towards heavy kick so that if you walk back, I'll get something, but then if you DP, again, I don't know, it's confusing. Again, this is another spot where you let her do drive rush into crouch medium kick, which is -2, and then she pushes stand medium punch, so you could have interrupted that. And then just stand medium punch into crouch medium kick. That's to defeat, to kind of go around the thing that I've been doing. But then she has to cancel this crouch medium kick, right? And what you need to realize is if she does this and she's close at all, that is not safe, okay? So that's the other thing. If she's close, you can get a punish. So either with stand jab, and then I like to go into light quad, and then I would probably just like, you know, mix up because I'm a greedy little gambler that way. But you can get a punish here, right? If she does it from close, you can get a punish here. I probably would have tried to do OD Gladius here, and if she level 1'd, I would have just lived with it. Because again, she's low on drive, and if she blocks that, she's going to be burnt out, right? And she doesn't even have a half bar to parry. So like, she doesn't even have the half bar to parry. So like, if I'm Juri here and I tap parry, I'm going to get burnt out. So DP is very likely here. I probably would have expected super, but I still would have just charged OD Gladius, which if you do, you're already pushing jab. Rewind. Okay. So if you do charge OD Gladius here, you are able to get a win. Right. So like, it's just something to think about. Right, they're low on drive. If they block it, they're burnt out. If they try to parry, they're burnt out. Like I said, I might have expected super just because they're low on drive, but does the DP to burn out on their own terms. So you have to be ready for that. And then this is just tough. There's not a whole lot you can do here in this situation, to be honest. It's like you could like try to jump here or like backdash and just try to get out of the way. But once you're in this situation, it's pretty dang hard to deal with. I mean, maybe try to block and then drive reversal because it's safe because she's burnt out. But like, the truth is just you need to not put yourself in those situations. Okay, I like drive rush there actually because she's playing kind of passively. That needs to be buffered into drive rush, right? Okay, so this is another thing. Just on a general awareness standpoint, when you jump here, like, You can see she's doing this fireball while you're in the air. Come down with the cross up, right? Like, if you just come down with this jump light kick, you're going to be able to get a big combo, right? That's 3320 instead of the 1200 that you get. And Juri could attack that throw, so, like, that happens. I think that was supposed to be Gladius, probably. If you tap back, you won't get Superman Punch there. If you do, like, towards heavy kick and then back, you won't get TP. Okay, again, I'm going to show it here. If you just hold back here, you're going to put yourself in a situation where if you just sort of hold back and then expect it to whiff and push medium punch, if they try to walk up throw, you're still interrupting. So, like, I know she's +2 there, and you're like, you just told me to mash a 7-frame move on +2, and it's like, yes, I did, because they're going to do stuff that is fake. And a bar A is a very important thing. Sometimes you have to mash on minus frames just to force people to keep it tight. I like this. You're going to drive rush here. You can see your inputs. You shouldn't, right? Like, 2 bars is already a lot to commit. You don't get Oki here. So you're like, okay, I'm staying close. You could have just dashed, right? You're not even taking up a whole lot more space. Like, look where you are. You're like the edge of the red carpet. Right, if I just dash and then walk up, I'm in the same spot, and I didn't spend that extra bar of drive. Again, this is one of those things where if you're just kind of throwing out a phalanx every once in a while, you end up maybe conditioning them to not do that, or you go over it, right? Is sort of the idea. It did this to me before where that graphically stays on screen. I don't know if you saw that. The fireball didn't disappear. Okay, we're okay. We're fine. Okay, again, she's going to do this. And you can punish this one. You could have done stand jab or stand light kick. Stand jab obviously is going to get you more damage. Instead, you do medium punch, and nothing happens. Right? Okay, now, I want you to take a look where she is. In the corner, you're drive rushing in for Oki. You've been in this situation a couple times before, and Juri DP'd. What do you think she's going to do here? Yeah, DP, right? So if you're kind of paying attention to those habits, and you see it coming, you know, I think we can definitely get a kill here. I'm not, you know, we can definitely get a kill there, probably with level 1 only, definitely. But that's just kind of the point, right? And again, that could have been a punish too. I probably would have just done this empty, to be honest with you. So, like, I would have just done this, I think. Because I would have been trying to bait super. But that's just kind of me. Another spot there. I know I'm beating it to death at this point. But if you stand block here, if you just walk back, you can kill here, obviously, if I did super. So, like, you just have to be careful, right? Now, you end up interrupting with drive rush. Something else to point out here, just because it's semi-new, is when you land OD Dima, you can do charge heavy punch and then do level 2, and it does more damage. Still wouldn't have killed, right? You still would have had to do something like try to chip out or whatever. But you have your phalanx to go over the level 1. It works. Excellent, right? Way to close out the round. Okay, last round. Sure, that's fine. Okay, I want to point something out here. Even though you're in the corner, that still whiffs. And I could have got a side swap there if I have been paying attention. So you can, right? So even in the corner, if you're stand blocking here, you can get that thing to whiff. Okay, if you're going to jump there, jump out of the corner, just, right? I probably would have teched there too. Happens, right? So the main thing, I think, is understanding what defensive options you have in general, right? If you hold back in some of these spots where these juries do stand medium, crouch medium, medium store, you're going to whiff punish the medium store, and you're going to force her to do like stand medium into crouch medium kick, which is an interruptible string. You can crouch jab it, right? Or you're going to force them to do crouch medium, crouch jab into stand medium, crouch medium punch, crouch medium kick to try to interrupt it or whatever. The point being, right, if you're aware of the defensive options you have, you can kind of get Juri off of that level 1 option that she's picking, right? And also, again, in neutral, I would throw out light phalanx to force her to try to anti-air it and discourage her from throwing out those fireballs, because I think that's the number one thing. So like, well, how do I deal with it? Man, she throws out that fireball and does drive rush behind it. There's not much you can do. So really what you want to do is try to play in that phalanx range where she's kind of taking her life in her own hands to throw the fireball in the first place. Food for thought. Hopefully you found that helpful. As always, have a good time.